Welcome back to another episode of Lighting the Way. I'm your host, Justin Burd. We've got a great episode scheduled for today. With me are two of the SafeLIGHT Foundation teen ambassadors, Lauren Rounds and Erin Eberhardt. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. How are the two of you doing today?
Pretty well.
Good.
Doing good?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just kind of dive right into it. How did you all get involved with the SafeLIGHT Foundation Teen Ambassador Program?
So, personally for my school, the people that were involved in the last year's class of the SafeLIGHT Foundation nominated students from the lower class, which is my class, the junior class. And we had to basically fill out an application, write a short answer essay, basically explaining what safe driving meant to us, why we wanted to be ambassadors. And then from there, we were chosen and we went to orientation and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Cool.
So,
Erin, how about yourself?
Same application process, but I was nominated through a program called Ladies of Virtue, which is a mentoring program in Chicago.
Awesome. And so how was the application process like? So for those that are maybe interested in joining next year, did it take a lot of time? Was it really hard? Kind of walk me through that.
It wasn't really that strenuous, I would say. It's probably just, personal information, simple, like name, number, all that stuff. And then I think there were some requirements as far as, like, GPA is concerned, nothing too, tight. And then the short answer essay was actually kind of fun to answer. It was, just having your voice speak through whatever the prompt was.
Okay. Nice. So after you got selected, what does it feel like to be like a teen ambassador, or like how does it impact your life?
It feels like now I have a responsibility to really make sure, like, my friends around me and, like, everybody around me is doing the best they can to remain safe on the road. Like, I know I have a lot of friends that right now aren't, so it feels important that now I'm aware of, like, what a public service announcement is, to look out for it and send it to my friends and make sure they're aware as well.
And so what are those conversations like? You said that some of your drivers or your friends aren't safe, or maybe they're making poor choices. How's it like talking to friends peer to peer when you're saying, hey, this isn't cool to, maybe talk on your phone, or the music's too loud, because I remember being your age, like you want to have fun, you're excited, like you have that freedom, right? So what are those conversations like?
I think I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think driving, especially at such a young age, because we have such lack of experience with it, it's really this like new thing that we've never experienced before. I mean, when I first started driving, like about a year and a half ago, it was a very like freeing experience. So when having these conversations with some of my peers, most of my friends don't drive recklessly, but I know there's always the odd few. Yeah, there's always the one friend that is just thinks that speeding is cool and wants to record themselves driving and stuff. And every time I have conversations with those type of people, it's always in one ear out the other. But I make sure I'm doing my part to make sure that they at least are aware of the dangers of it.
Have you ever been in a car and you brought up something I kind of want to dive further into. So teens, the driver themselves will record themselves while driving. Have you ever felt to the point where you're uncomfortable with that friend in the car, where you ask them to pull over and get out of the car?
I don't get in the car with that friend.
Oh, so you don't get in the car. Okay. So you already know the bar has already been set with that friend where I'm not getting in the car.
Yeah.
You've made this decision for me, or your decisions have now made me no, I'm not getting in the car with you. Got it.
I feel like I've had that situation where I was in the car and I didn't know that friend was that type of driver.
Sure.
And it was just the situation of like, that's not safe.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's set a boundary of like, well, I feel like if they're doing it in the car with me, then they're just doing it in the car by themselves. So like that's my friend. So I don't want them to get into an accident, or I don't want them to drive unsafe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, we pulled over, and then like I explained to them like what was the problem, and they like didn't think of it like that. They thought of it as just having fun. So I feel like after I set that boundary, it was a different tone in the ride. Like after that,
which I'm sure your friend probably appreciated. I don't think, it's fun to talk always about like safe things, right? Like it's not it's not always the easiest conversation to have, right? And so I think something great about the Teen Ambassador program is that it's this peer-to-peer. You have the opportunity to talk to your friends and be like, hey, it's not cool to record yourself, right? Like in 2023 alone, I think there were over 2,600 teens involved in car crashes, right?
Yeah.
And that's a staggering number, right? And we're just celebrating Teen Driving Awareness Week, right? And so I know you guys know the data, but our friends, probably your friends don't. I know when I was at your age, it wasn't a topic of conversation that came up too often. Like, I think you're so excited to drive and you just want that freedom. You want to, go drive to the, drive through and grab a snack with your friends, listen to music, drive, to each other's houses, etc. But what is it, how does it make you feel when you're having these conversations with your friends? Is it comfortable? Is it hard? How is it accepted? Do you feel like you said, the tone was kind of changed in the car? So how has that relationship now gone from that conversation?
Well, I feel like the relationship is fine. I feel like it's different when it's coming from, like, a friend.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's, like, when a parent is telling you something or, like, when an adult is telling you something, I feel like you can see a different... Like, when somebody on your same level as you is telling you something, I feel like you kind of take it in a little more.
Sure.
So I feel like they took it in and kind of, like, really thought about what I said. Only because, like, I brought up an experience where I got into a car accident once. And it was dangerous. Like, it's a dangerous thing to do, like, to record while you're driving or to listen to music where you can't hear a fire truck if it was coming past, like an ambulance. So I feel like it's unsafe.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it's really important that when you're someone informing your friends or having these conversations or uncomfortable topics, that you're, coming from a place of love rather than coming from a place of authority like your parents or your teachers usually do. And I think that when friends understand that you're coming from a place of love, they're more receptive to it. It's just like when you explain the importance of safe driving, that, if you drive unsafely, it could in your life, in others' lives, and that will follow you for the rest of your life. I think when people understand the magnitude of that, then they're more inclined to acquiesce to, what you're saying.
Absolutely. Do your friends know that you're in the Teen Ambassador program?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, at least at my school, that's one of our places that we're going to have what's called town hall meetings where we, give information, give those statistics of, teens killed during this year, teens injured during this year. And I think we make it a really fun experience that people can, really, it's really personable and we can form connections with it. So I think it's really important for people to know that I am involved with it. So that, maybe they can think twice about what they decide to do.
And Erin, how about yourself?
Yes, I think my friends know, and I feel like once I do the public service announcement, it's coming out. My whole school is gonna watch it next Tuesday. Okay. And so then that'll bring more awareness to speeding and stuff. Yeah.
And then, do you have conversations? When did these conversations come up? Is it just in the car? Is it before you get in the car? Is it after the car ride? How do these conversations usually come up organically?
I think that the conversation with me being in SafeLIGHT, when I had first was telling them about the program, why are you in the program? And I was telling them about it's about safe driving and stuff like that. I feel like that's how the conversation started rolling.
Got it. And so you sometimes will bring up, you guys ever talk about you're in school over the weekend, how was driving? Because you guys are still somewhat new to driving. Yeah. So do you guys ever talk about, experiences on the road or?
Oh yeah, I definitely talk about experiences on the road with people that are, not as, they don't really care about safe driving on the road. So it often makes me a little nervous to, get on the road, but I make sure that I'm doing everything that I need to do and I'm aware of everyone else that they may not be as safe as me. So there are definitely conversations that come up about someone acting crazy on the road or someone almost ran me off the road. There's definitely those conversations I have with my friends, and they're fun, but they're also I guess somewhat informative.
Sure, they're important conversations.
Yeah, people like this exist on the road. You have to be careful about that. So
I feel like when I'm bringing it up, it's more so of you're not driving for yourself, you're driving for other people on the road. So it's let's pay attention to everyone and make sure that we're safe. Yeah.
So what are some things that you do to pay attention on the road to practice safe driving habits?
Oh, I think firstly that I don't have the music too loud. I love music in my car.
Okay.
I love music in my car, and I make sure that before I even pull off, that my music is already queued up in a sense that I don't really have to.
So you have your playlist already queued up?
Right. Playlist already queued up. Music is, I can hear it, but it's not too loud. Seatbelts on, all that stuff. I mean, just the basics.
So kind of like a checklist before you start.
Yeah.
Before you even turn on the car. So you've got your music queued up. You've got your seatbelt on. How many people are in the car? Do you ever think about like how many people are going to be in the car, or like what's the best route to get to point A to point B?
Yes, I make sure that I know where I'm going first. I often don't drive with people in the car. Sometimes if I take my friend somewhere, maybe one.
Okay.
Maybe like a family member, maybe two. But I'm not usually in the car with people. However, if we are going somewhere, I definitely make sure I'm looking it up before I even get in the car where the place is.
Got it.
Yeah, I feel like I also look it up, like the surroundings of like, is there somewhere to park? I feel like that's another reason for like an accident. If you're not paying attention to the road and looking for a place to park, I feel like that's kind of,
That's a great point. Yeah.
And then, I just look, I look up where I'm gonna go. I always have the playlist queued up as well. The Drake is playing. I have my Apple CarPlay in, so I can just tap the screen instead of tapping my phone.
Yeah.
And then,
How about like hands-free devices? So do you have something, where do you put your phone? What happens if a phone call comes in when you're driving? If a text comes in, you get a notification.
So in my car, I have one of the little suction cups that stick to the windshield, and then it comes out. You put your phone in it.
Okay.
And then if a call comes in on the steering wheel, you just press the button, so I don't have to necessarily press the phone, and then you can hang up from them as well. So I think those are the kind of the things I use when I'm in the car.
I use Apple CarPlay, so like you can charge your phone up and you're getting juice while you're listening to music. So it's like an aux, almost like the aux cord. So you plug it in and then you listen to music, but you can also like control and tap your calls from there. Like, so if a call come through, instead of like trying to get the phone, I can just tap answer.
Yeah.
And do you feel comfortable answering the phone calls and being on the phone while you're driving?
Sometimes if I'm like on the expressway, I'll say, hey, can I call you back? But if I'm like closer to my home and I like know where to go, I'm okay with being on the phone.
How about yourself?
I don't usually take phone calls. I take them, but I always make sure to say, oh, I'm driving, let me call you back. Like, that's the first thing that I say. So they are with, oh, okay.
The expectation's been set
yes.
to the person you're talking to. So that way you're not upsetting your friend with like a short answer. Hey, can't talk right now. Click. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you guys worked on, we talked about this briefly, a public service announcement that you're going to be showing to your schools. What was the motivation with the way that you guys created this public service announcement, and kind of, can you want to talk about it a little bit?
Well, I think that we all of the ambassadors have really good ideas, and that when we each came with our own individual ideas, it came together as like this one big idea that was like really, inclusive of all of our minds and like that. So I think it was a really fun process to actually, see what we wanted to say, how we wanted to say it, make sure it captured our audience. And like the meetings that we had together, they were often kind of like really fun about saying, oh, we like this one the best, we like this idea, maybe not this idea, but I know definitely me and Erin were definitely giving some really good ideas, and we were really taking in some really good ideas from our peers. So
like the idea behind this one was about homecoming, because it's homecoming season, and so it was about getting to the homecoming games and being able to, like, if you're being late, like, it's better to arrive late than never. I think that was the slogan.
The slogan, right?
Yep.
Better late than never, and then was it arrive alive?
Yes.
Love that. So you guys thought about getting to your homecoming games on time.
Yeah.
If you're running late.
If you're running late, if you're in the car with friends, like, to limit distractions. Don't think like speeding up is you shouldn't be speeding. Like, if you arrive a little late, it's better to arrive late than not at all.
Yeah, I think missing that touchdown or missing that, catch is more important. I mean, it's less important than like missing graduation or missing events that you won't be present for if you're not here. So
yeah, I mean, it's sounds really important. Love the tagline, and also I think it's an important message for your friends and for peers to know that why rush?
Yeah.
That text message isn't worth your life. That speeding isn't worth getting into an accident. Take your time and arrive safely.
Yeah.
So I love it. Well, here is the PSA or public service announcement that the Teen Ambassador class worked on. We'll be right back with another Teen Ambassador.
Where are they?
Great job on the public service announcement, ladies. That was awesome.
Thank you.
And Alina, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. So how did you get involved in the SafeLIGHT Foundation?
So, it was just a regular day, and my dad had actually, reached out to me because I've been wanting to get into more, campaigns, doing more campaigns. I'm actually in another campaign right now, but he had contacted me, and he's like, hey, I have this friend who is in charge of the campaign. She's reaching out to me saying she needs more kids to join. Are you interested? And I was at first I was a little skeptical. I was a little oh, what's this campaign about? I don't even know what it's about.
Sure.
But after reading more into it and getting more into what's it about, what's the safety about, I honestly had a really good interest in it. And so I told my dad, hey, let's try and sign up. Let's try and do it. And luckily, I was able to really make it and
awesome.
To do it.
Well, welcome to the show today. So besides the public service announcement that you guys created, there were also a couple flyers that you also worked on. So, Erin, do you want to talk about the first flyer?
So the first flyer is about what we're doing. It's a local teen ambassadors help raise awareness for National Teen Driver Safety Awareness Week.
Okay.
It's a tagline, drive aware, show you care, and the flyer is about from the video, the aftermath of two teens walking away from the car crash, hurt. So that's the first one.
Okay. And Alina, how about the second one?
The second one is just kind of an explanation on what kinds of distractions are there. So if you read the bottom, it kind of talks about phones being one of the most distractive things for teens at this moment. Drugs, maybe friends in the car. There are many distractions that we might not notice at first, but that if we really look into, can affect not only our safety, but other safety as well. So we just kind of wanted to highlight and put a spotlight on, hey, there are these things that distract. Maybe we should not do that.
Awesome. So let's kind of talk a little bit more about the distractions when you're driving. So you guys are somewhat newer to being drivers. What are the conversations like with your friends if, oh, Alina can drive tonight, but, there's 3 friends, right? Are you comfortable? How many people are you comfortable having in the car? What are you doing if only one friend can drive with you, etc.?
So when it comes to me driving, I don't really drive too much, but when I do drive, I don't like to have more than 1 or 2 people in the car. I feel when it becomes, especially with my age, when it becomes more people in the car, there's more talking, there's more distractions, there's more conversation and kind of laughing going on, and it kind of takes my eyes off of what I need to be seeing and what I need to be alert of. So I think that's kind of
how you handle it?
Yeah, how I handle it.
Erin, how about yourself?
I feel when I'm driving, I kind of think about the time I'm going to be driving, how long. I feel since I'm
how
a
long
teen,
from the destination?
Yes, I feel since I'm a teen, if I'm driving to a game, football games usually end around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And if I'm driving later than that, I'm going to be sleepier. It's usually on a Friday. I had school that day. So I feel I put everything into perspective of if I'm driving 3 people home, I'm probably not going to get home until 12 o'clock.
Got it.
So it's kind of, that's how I.
And what about so we talked about the music level. So do you have a certain level of music or,
I try to keep my music on a 15 level volume. So my car, it goes all the way up to 30.
Okay.
So I try to keep it on 15 level so I can hear, so I can take in everything.
Alina, how about yourself?
With me, I think I think it's more of not the volume, but the genre I'm playing. So
Really?
I'm playing more of an upbeat music. You know, I'm kind of
Okay.
like getting more into the music. But if I'm like a mellow, kind of calm music, then I'm like, okay, now I'm calmer. Now I can really. It kind of helps me bring it to focus. With the volume, I try to keep it a little low, medium to where I can still kind of like, you know, hear it, but not to where it's blasting in my ear where I'm distracted by what the lyrics are saying, and more about like, okay, I'm kind of calm right now. I'm aware of what I'm doing.
Got it. What about as you started your driving careers? What are some laws that you've maybe learned or maybe you weren't aware of that kind of affects your driving to make it safer? Like speed limit, wearing a seatbelt, only being allowed to have so many teens in the car at a time. Are there any laws that you thought were really helpful to help promote safe driving?
Yes, I think that the rule where you can only have one other passenger in the car a year after getting your license is really helpful, because when you're driving, I feel like you can wait, is it only one teen in the car?
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's only one other.
I think it was one teen when I was your guys'
yeah.
age, which is yeah.
There's only one other teen in the car when you're driving, and I feel like that's easier to get used to that one person being there. So when it is more people there
after that first year.
Yes, after that first year, when it's more people there, then you're used to everyone. You can better drive aware. You can take in what another person is saying and also focus on driving.
Gotcha. How about yourself?
I can agree with that. I think when it comes to a year, that gives me time to really progress and know how do I drive, what safeties are to driving, and I feel like that's a really big impact on how I can drive with everybody else, making sure I'm safe first before I can have somebody else in the vehicle and try to make sure they're safe as well.
And do you make sure everyone's wearing your seatbelt before you start going? And have you ever had issues with friends putting seatbelts on?
I feel like when it's a seatbelt, so I feel like it's not really it's not really an issue, because just put your seatbelt on. It's everybody got their seatbelts on, and then just drive off.
Okay.
When it comes to people in my car, I make sure hey, let's get our seatbelts on. I remind everybody before I even start turning on the car. I'll be like, hey guys, make sure you guys have your seatbelts on. Make sure we're all facing the right direction. We're not. Because some people like to lay down in the car or kind of
really?
Move their body around. Yeah.
Okay.
So I try to make sure everybody in my car is facing forward. Their feet are where they're supposed to be. Their seatbelts on, because if anything happens, I want to make sure everybody is in view of where the cushions are, where we're supposed to be. So yeah, I make sure everybody's seatbelts on.
Have any of your friends been impacted with an accident that has kind of made you think or promote safe driving more after that occurred?
I had friends that have gotten into an accident where their whole car has been totaled out.
Really? Were they okay?
He had something was wrong with his leg after, but I think after that, then he was fine. But it was a scary thing for him, and so he actually became more aware of driving and saying, because he was somebody that would going on the expressway, he would speed and cut through traffic, and so I feel like that made him more aware because it happened to him, and then his family became more aware because since it happened to you, we want to all make sure that we're driving okay, so we're setting a good example.
And make sure it doesn't happen again to other friends and loved ones. Was the accident on his fault, or did he get hit by something?
It was his fault.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How about yourself? Anyone?
Not anyone from that I've known of, but friends who have known other people.
Yeah.
They have been into, pretty severe accidents. I think it has affected not only the family members, but of other kids in the school and other students,
Sure.
When it's an accident that happens to your friends or family members, then it's a big alert on what's going on, and it's wow, if that happened to them, what about me? It can always happen to me. So
Sure.
I feel like that's been a big impact.
So as you guys continue through the Teen Ambassador program, what are some things that you're looking forward to? What are you trying to get out of it?
I think what I'm trying to get out of it is making sure me learning new things about driving, I want to learn more about impacts I can make on others, because statistics show there's been lots of kids our age that have passed away or have been really injured in their driving, and I want to make sure that, because it's not a big thing, on social media nobody really posts about, hey, we should be driving safely, you know? And I feel like if we continue building our platform and, you know, having more flyers out, we can make big impacts on people's lives and teens, but not only teens, just everybody, adults, teens, you know, people who have been driving for a long time, people who've just started driving.
That's great. Yeah, love that. How about you?
I want more people to gain like awareness on safe driving. I feel like it's really easy to go online, listen to a good song, and like cut through traffic. Like my friend, he had got into the accident, so I feel like making more people aware is a big thing.
And do you think making people more aware? I think you talked about it a little bit, Alina, is like public service announcements, like on social media, right? I feel like that's not always that gets the most traction, right? So how do we create something that could go viral to help people in a positive way, right? Because I feel like sometimes negative stuff goes viral really quickly, right? But how do we make safe driving cool? What do you guys think?
I think when it comes to safe driving, if we post it on social media, we can do like better outcomes to safe driving, you know, like instead of maybe like a car crash or something, we can say like, hey, when you guys safe drive, you won't get pulled over by the cops, or you'll get to your destination more on time, or safer, and you'll have more fun. And I feel like just, you know, stuff like that can have better
kind of diving into that.
Yeah.
I feel like a way that we can show safe driving, like making everybody more aware, is like the slogans.
Yeah.
Like the drive aware, show you care. Like I feel like that's something like people think in their head, like, oh, let me drive aware, so I care.
Sure,
I care for everybody else. Yeah.
I love that. Well, I really appreciate you both joining us today on the show. And before we leave, do you have any last message you want to say to your peers or to your audience?
Drive aware, show you care.
Yeah.
There you go. Alina?
Just make sure you guys keep driving safely, you know. It affects you, but it also affects others, and we want to make sure you all are safe.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us today on another episode of Lighting the Way. Remember to drive aware and
Show you care.
show you care. I love it.